Greetings, Facebook family. This is Reverend Mama Kathy on Friday, April the 10th, 2020. In the Christian tradition, this is known as Good Friday. First, I want to tell you a little bit about me. I was born of a mother who was raised in the Baptist church and a father who was raised in the Pentecostal church. And so I believe that when I stood at the Akashic Records and made a decision as to what I needed to learn in this particular incarnation, I chose Greta and John English as my parents, and I also chose the path of Christianity for this particular lifetime. And so that is why I have made the decision a long time ago not to change my religion, because I needed to learn more about what I was born into. And so although I do not call myself a Christian, I say I'm a woman of Christ consciousness, I chose this path. And so as I said, today, Good Friday, is the day when Jesus, the man, carried his own cross to what he knew would be his ultimate death of his physical body. Many years ago, a therapist of mine, my favorite therapist, and I've had several, said to me, "Kathy, put down the cross. Somebody else needs the wood." What does that mean? Well, for me, it meant that I needed to put down the suffering, the shame, the blame, the guilt, the sadness, the depression that I was carrying at the time, and resurrect, begin a new life. And as I have studied over the years, I tend to see the cross this way. That line that runs horizontal is birth to death. That line that runs vertical is elevation, evolution above the horizontal line. And going below that is devolution, depression, sadness, grief, etc. And so that's how I have chosen to perceive the cross. And my goal has been to rise, and elevate through that. And so I think it's important also to know that Easter is the one holiday that is determined by the stars, okay? It is a day of purification, a day of rebirth, a day of resurrection, is what the church says. And I choose to see it as a day of new beginnings. It is, in fact, the Archangel Raphael, who I believe is the guide over Easter, who is the angel of travel, which is what we do when we resurrect in our consciousness, because I knew that's what the Christ energy was doing, resurrecting consciousness, leaving the body behind and moving into a higher consciousness. And so I see this time as an opportunity for us to do the same thing, to let go of any sadness and grief, pain and sorrow, depression, and all of that which keeps us at a lower level, a low vibration, and move higher into consciousness. Because once the Christ left the body, once Jesus left the body and he resurrected, what he showed us is that life is eternal. Life is eternal. And so we get to own that for ourselves, especially at a time when we are seeing so much death around us. We come to understand that this body is just that. It's temporal. It is not eternal. And we get to be reborn again. So the significance of Good Friday, many people in many churches, they have sermons around the 7 last words, 7 sermons on the 7 last words, which is something that I have typically done every year. And when I was unable to do it physically this year, although it is on Facebook Live, and so I'll be able to look at it. But I just wanted to remind people of really, what the cross represents. And we do get to put it all down. We get to put all that stuff down and understand that we can start again. We can begin again. The symbols of Easter, as you well know, the rabbits, which have to do with fertility, multiplying. Also the egg, which is representative of new birth, new beginnings. The lily, they say that Jesus the Christ represents the lily of the valley. And so during this sacred season, around the globe, for all of those who do participate, I honor you and pray that this particular season of Easter is a good one for you, even though you cannot gather, even though there will not be Easter parades. The little children will not be dressing up and carrying baskets around. It's still an opportunity to celebrate rebirth and purification and all that will come after we have come through this period, this dark season. There was another thing I wanted to say about Easter, and it's kind of slipping my mind. So anyway, have a good one. Oh, it slipped my mind, so I'm going to let it go. All right, be well. Have a blessed holiday season, and you will hear from me again. All right? Good Friday is just one day in the season, but it has nothing to do with the death. It has to do with the rebirth. So be reborn. It's your time. Peace and love.